So my background, like I think many curators, especially now, is a little bit circuitous. So I was really interested, even from a very young age, in museums, and I would say I drug my parents to basically every museum within 5 hours of driving distance against their will, and would routinely take classes on painting, drawing, sculpture, anything that I could, our meager budget would allow, and also force them to forego, normal sports viewing and things like that in order to engage with things like Antiques Roadshow and Art 21 and great programming that was inspiring me to just be more and more interested in the arts the more I learned. In terms of re-envisioning the museum's exhibition space with my kind of curatorial style, if I have such a thing as of yet. I envision us doing more kind of site-specific installations, really immersive environments in which the entire gallery becomes the work itself. These works I feel like are often perhaps the most approachable for our visitors because it's not something that you're just approaching on the wall, it's something you're in, it's something you're kind of walking around in and getting that kind of bodily experience of the exhibition. Other things that I'd like to see us do more of is engaging with more community voices. Really, this museum is for the public, is for the Quad Cities. We are, the curators and the custodians of what is essentially their collection in their museum. So we have to be the most thoughtful as possible of how to engage the widest number of people in this institution. So just continuing the work that has been started by previous generations of curators to just make this place a vibrant center for the whole community. In terms of a favorite art period, I would have to say that, I'm a person who dives straight in for the contemporary art wings of any museum that I go to. That's not to say that I don't love other art periods. I'm a sucker for the Baroque. Historical fashion is a huge interest to me. But I'm first and foremost always going to stop at the contemporary wings. And that's just because, it's art that resonates with today. I'm interested in what art can reveal about the past, but I'm also really interested in what artists are thinking about right now and what they can kind of tell us about society in this moment. Within the next 5 years, I see the museum really continue to press forward in a sense of collaboration with its community. So working side by side with other community organizations, other institutions, and community members to try and figure out what are the ways that this institution can best serve the community in which it lives. I also think, just in terms of brass tacks things that have to change, this collection is predominantly represented by photography, painting, sculpture, but they're fairly traditional art forms. We're going to need to broaden to incorporate things like virtual reality. We're going to need to incorporate more video, more documentation of performance works. We're going to also need to incorporate sections for NFTs and other 3D printing. Examples of what's happening right now, these kind of technological advancements that are not yet represented in this collection, but are going to have to be in order to make this collection stay relevant for this community. To walk you through a day in the life of the curator, usually I will get here in the morning and I will have email triage for about a good hour or so. And then on a day like today, I'm spending a couple hours in the galleries working on an installation. We have an exhibition opening this weekend by Peter Zhao, which is complicated and has many different parts. And so we're trying to work up to the last minute to make sure that the exhibition is ready for the public on Saturday. Other things that I'm doing is working on, during my lunch break, I was writing up acquisitions proposals. We have a couple of works coming at auction next weekend that we have to share with our acquisitions and loans committee to give them some background on the works and try and encourage them to see the benefit that these works could have towards this collection. So sending out information to them about those works coming to auction. And then in the afternoon, I might be doing some publicity filming about interviews such as this. And then later today, we'll have a celebration for a new staff member. So there's all sorts of meandering things. Oh, and I also met with another contemporary artist today that we might be considering an exhibition with. So it's pretty varied. And I wouldn't even say that's a routine day. I think that's just today, because there may not be a routine day. So the thing that I would like to most tell our audience, and I repeat this line all the time to our visitors, come back often. I think people have this sense that, well, I went to the Figge, 5 years ago. I don't need to go again. The reality is nearly this entire building, all 4 floors, will change over almost every 3 months. So there's going to be, around 15, 16 rotating exhibitions a year. So if you come in the fall, come again in the spring, because you're going to see an almost entirely new selection of artworks. And then you'll also get to experience some old favorites and get familiar with some works that are from the museum's collection. So come back as often as you can. Sure. I mean, there's all sorts of favorite pieces of mine, but let's go look at one of my favorites in the Haitian Gallery. All right, so this is one of my favorite works from the Figge collection. This is a fairly recent addition to the collection. This is by artist Didier William, who is part of the Haitian diaspora. He lives in the United States. The reason I love this piece is because we have this fantastic collection of Haitian art at the Figge, but works like this and by other contemporary artists of the Haitian diaspora allow us to kind of contemporize what the kind of Haitian experience is now. What is it like to be kind of related to Haiti, but also now live in a different place? And this work by Didier kind of encapsulates a lot of that, and especially encapsulates his experience as a Black man, as a gay man. He talks a lot about always feeling as though there's all these kind of eyes staring at him, feeling constantly kind of stared at and almost having kind of a predatory gaze upon him. And he kind of represents that by covering the surface in all of these carved eyes. So this kind of feeling of this kind of oppressed stare upon him is now kind of literally coating his body. And so many of his figures end up almost being stand-ins for self-portraits. This particular painting is meant to be kind of the after effect of a capsized slave vessel. So he's referencing this terrible history and really kind of relating it to his own experience of this kind of continued feelings of oppression. Also, just in terms of artistry, there's so much kind of innovative technique here. Not only is he carving into the surface to reveal the eyes, which is kind of a holdover from as he works as a printmaker, because he's carving this almost like he would do a woodblock print. But he's also being very innovative in how he's layering materials on here. He has collaged paper, he's using innovative brushwork, he's using kind of a Q-tip to apply the paint splatter. So the resulting effect is just kind of something very unique to this artist and to now the Figge collection.